We should have done this before we, popped it out. On paper, it says I have 488s in this. I was actually never tested it, checked it for certain. Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're in the garage doing something we've wanted to do for a little while. So I have 488 gears in my LJ, the red one, and I want to put 513s in it. Steven has 410 stock still in his. He wants 488 gears in his. So instead of rebuilding both sets of axles, since we already have 488 in mine and that's what he wants in his, we're actually going to put my axles on his Jeep, and then we're going to put 513 gears in his axle and put them back on my Jeep. So today we are in the process of pulling and swapping. It's really pretty self-explanatory, not a whole lot to it, but we'll take you along. Hope you enjoy. So like I said, it's pretty easy to swap the axles. You basically just have to take off your brake lines, emergency brake, disconnect the shocks, track bar, the control arms in the front, and the air hoses for the locker. And other than that, once you get that all done, you put a jack under it, pull the control arm bolts, and it basically just falls out. Steven working on his. He's got the sway bar bolts disconnected. He's working on the brake line. The emergency brake lines are disconnected. Drive line's out of the way. So once he pulls the brake line off, he's got the hose for the locker disconnected, the electrical connector for the locker indicator disconnected, and then it's shocks, the lower bolt on, or the rear bolt on the lower and upper control arms, and the whole axle should just drop out. Got Sterling over here on this side working on mine. He's to just about the same point. He's working on getting the sway bar bolts off for the links, and then the brake lines and everything from there. So he's just about in the same spot. All right, that's one side. Uppers are out. One more bolt on the other side, and the whole thing should just fall on the ground.
Father.
Oh, fun.
The jack's going away.
Want me to do something?
Yes, please.
If I must, I guess.
Huh? think you just need to jack it down.
Yes. Make sure everything's disconnected and out of the way. It's down all the way.
Boom.
And it's out. Alright, so we got both axles out. Now sitting into there. We're going to just clean them up a little bit and then swap them and put them back in. So, interesting fact, these are both Terraflex lift springs, 3-inch springs. The one on the right with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 coils was installed on my Jeep probably in about 2008, 2009. The one on the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 coils was installed on Steven's Jeep in 2020?
18.
19? 18.
18 or 19.
So about 10 years apart. Terraflex has obviously redone their design. They're both about the same height, but the one on the left will compress further than the one on the right, and the one on the left actually is a little bit softer, so it actually probably has a slightly better ride. I did notice that I would compress and bottom out at about the same spot that Steven did on his. But anyway, just kind of an interesting change with time that Terraflex has made to their springs. We should have done this before we, popped it out. On paper, it says I have 488s in this. I was actually never tested it, checked it for certain. So we're just going to pull the cover off real fast, verify that we have not put all this effort into this in vain, and yeah, leave the top 2 bolts in.
I just need to...
All right, so let's pull the cover off.
15 to 6 more. Okay.
All right, so we took off the cover and let the fluid drain out. It doesn't look like there was very many metal shavings or anything inside. Right here on the ring gear is where it is stamped and tells us all of the information that we were looking for. So it looks like it's good to go.
Alright, so it's the end of another day. We got the axles in, everything's connected. We have one issue we need to, well, 2 issues actually, I guess we need to go and correct. The brake lining hose got stripped somehow, and so we'll have to order one of those. It might take a day or 2 to get, unless the local parts store has one. But anyway, so we are done for the day, but we should be back pretty quick tomorrow, and we will move to the front. So it is day 3 in the garage. The back end are all back together again. Tires are on, they're on the ground. So today we will be working on swapping the front ends. Billing's already got 1 tire off on that. Steven's working on his. We will be swapping them over. So on mine, we have this aftermarket crossover steering setup, and we will be transferring all of that over to Steven's and putting his on mine. So that means I'll have to put the stock pitman arm back on, and then we'll end up having to drill his out to accept the bolt and nut for this one. And then I also have an adjustable track arm on this track bar, so we will, once we get it on his, do all the adjustment, and should be good. Anyway, we hope today to get them swapped, at least off and over. We'll see if we get them all back together or not, but that's our plan. Progress is being made. Should have them out shortly.
We got the axle on, the upper and lower control arms connected, and we'll do the rest tomorrow.
The end
But
for today.
it took a little bit more work to get on than expected.
Hello everyone, this is day 4. Should be the last day, at least for Steven's Jeep. We should have it completely back together. Pretty much everything's under it. We just have to hook up the drag link and the track bar, adjust a few things, fill the axles with grease, oil, whatever, and then bleed the brakes. So shouldn't take us more than a couple hours to get everything finished up. Then we'll go through and just do a quick double check on all the bolts and nuts and everything, make sure everything's tight, and then we'll be ready to take it for a test drive. So everything's back on, all the bolts are tight, track bar is adjusted where it should be. We do need to tighten the lock jam nuts, but we'll do that after we take it for a test drive, and then we'll recheck it and make sure that it hasn't moved at all once everything settles in place. At the moment we just need to bleed the brakes. All the fluid pretty much, you know, drained out while we had it in the air, and all the lines disconnected. So overall we'll check it out, and then we'll take it for a test drive. All right, we're ready for a test drive. Steven's really excited and anxious to go out. We're going to go to give it a shakedown, make sure everything works, that there's no issues or anything. But I think everything looks good. We've double checked, triple checked everything. All the fluids are up, all the bolts are tight, brakes are bled. Right, so after our test drive, everything runs and works. It's the steering's definitely stiffer or tighter, at least than it was before. Has no death wobble, no bump steer, drives straight, brakes straight, everything's good. And put it in 4 low, and the gear reduction is greatly noticeable. So I think Steven's very happy with the overall result. And you know, now it's got big boy pants on, 35-inch tires. We still plan on eventually replacing the pucks and putting longer springs overall on it, but for now I think we'll just go find some place and go for a ride, take it out and really put it through the paces. So anyway, just a short little project we did. It took us 4 days to do the complete swap. That wasn't working a whole, 8-10 hours a day. That was working 6 to 8 hours a day, and lunch and whatnot. But really, it's not that hard of a swap. Just unbolt a few things, disconnect a few things, and it's done. So anyway, we appreciate your support. Thanks for watching.